We live in a world that constantly demands access to our inner lives, our struggles, our dreams, our past, our pain. But here's the truth: what's sacred must remain protected. Good evening, we are taught to share. Share your thoughts, share your feelings, share your journey. Social media claps every time you post your heartbreak. People applaud when you pour out your soul, but sharing isn't the same as connecting. And exposure isn't the same as authenticity. There is a quiet power in privacy, a strength in silence, a discipline in protecting what matters most. Let me ask you this: what happens to a seed when it's dug up every day to check if it's growing? It dies, not because it lacked potential, but because it lacked protection. The same applies to your personal life, your dreams, your relationships, your struggles. They're seeds. They need darkness, nurturing time. But when you expose them too early, too often, to too many people, they don't grow. They get judged, dissected, and sometimes destroyed. We must learn to protect the sacred, not out of fear, not because we're hiding something, but because we're building something. Some people won't understand your path. Some will use your vulnerability as ammunition. Others will pretend to care while secretly rooting for your failure, and it's not their fault. They're just not meant to carry your truth. So, here's what I believe: keep your circle tight, share selectively, build privately, move quietly. Let your success speak louder than your stories. This isn't about secrecy, it's about strategy. It's not about isolation. It's about intention. The most powerful lives aren't the loudest, they're the most aligned. So today, I challenge you. We live in a time where being seen is often mistaken for being valued. Everywhere we turn, we're encouraged to share our thoughts, our routines, our emotions, our challenges, even our deepest wounds. But in the pursuit of openness, we sometimes forget the value of privacy. Protecting your peace is not about pushing the world away. It's about choosing what truly deserves your energy. Peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you consciously build, defend, and prioritize every single day. There will always be people who want access to your life, not because they care, but because curiosity feeds them. Some come with kind faces and good words, but their intentions are far from pure. Others may mean no harm but carry chaos with them. And whether it's negativity, judgment, comparison, or just constant noise, the wrong energy around you can cloud your vision, disturb your focus, and drain your motivation. Protecting your peace means identifying these forces early and keeping them at arm's length, not with anger, not with arrogance, but with firm boundaries that honor your growth. You are not obligated to explain your journey to anyone. You are not required to justify why you distance yourself, why you say no, or why you protect your time. The people who respect your peace won't demand access to every corner of your life. They'll honor the space you need without taking it personally. And if someone does take it personally, that's often a clear sign they were benefiting more from your chaos than your clarity. We sometimes feel guilty for choosing solitude over company, silence over explanations, or healing over pleasing others. But guilt has no place when you're doing what's necessary for your mental and emotional well-being. Protecting your peace may mean stepping away from conversations that drain you, environments that unsettle you, or habits that no longer serve you. It may look like fewer invitations, fewer texts, fewer people, but what you lose in quantity, you gain in quality. You find clarity, you find direction, you find strength. The world tells us to stay busy, to stay connected, to stay relevant. But peace doesn't live in chaos. It lives in stillness, in the moments you unplug, in the decisions you make that no one applauds, but that you know are right. It's in choosing what aligns with your values, even when it means disappointing others. It's in walking away from drama, from gossip, from anything that costs more than it's worth. There's no prize for how much noise you can tolerate. There's no trophy for how much of yourself you give away to keep others comfortable. The more you protect your peace, the more clearly you'll see what truly matters, what deserves your yes and what desperately needs your no. Peace is not passive, it's power, and you don't owe anyone access to it. In a world that rewards constant sharing, relentless talking, and nonstop broadcasting, silence can feel like rebellion. Yet silence holds a strength that words often lack. We're conditioned to fill every space with noise, with explanations, with opinions, with validation, seeking statements. But the most grounded people are not the ones who speak the loudest. They are the ones who know when not to speak at all. There is wisdom in restraint. There is power in staying silent when the world expects you to react. Silence isn't emptiness. It's presence, it's control, it's depth. When you choose silence, you are no longer reacting to the world. You are observing it. You're stepping back from the chaos and giving yourself the space to think clearly, to feel deeply, and to act deliberately. Too often, we speak just to be heard. We rush to defend ourselves, to prove ourselves, to argue our worth. But those who are truly confident don't scramble to explain. They don't panic when misunderstood. They know that silence speaks for itself, and that silence often speaks louder than 1,000 words. Silence is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is not apathy. It is the deliberate choice to conserve your energy and only invest it where it truly matters. In silence, you are no longer trying to win approval or dodge judgment. You step out of the performance. You reclaim your emotional and mental space. You realize that not every question deserves an answer. Not every challenge requires a defense, and not every critic earns your time. There is strength in choosing to walk away from the noise instead of getting tangled in it. People often interpret silence in ways that reflect more about them than about you. Some will mistake it for arrogance. Others will call it coldness. Some may even try to provoke a reaction. But their discomfort with your silence has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with their need for control. The moment you stop feeding chaos with your attention, it loses its grip. The moment you choose inner calm over outer conflict, you begin to rise above the drama that once consumed you. When you stay silent, you allow the dust to settle. You give time the space to do what emotion cannot. You allow truth to reveal itself without interference. You make room for your intuition to speak louder than your fears. And you send a powerful message that you are no longer available for distractions disguised as urgency, for manipulation disguised as concern, or for confusion disguised as dialogue. There's nothing louder than a person who refuses to shout. Nothing more impactful than a mind that is focused and undisturbed. And while others waste their breath trying to be seen, the silent ones are quietly building, quietly growing, quietly winning. In silence, there is clarity. In silence, there is discipline. In silence, there is a fierce kind of confidence that doesn't need applause to feel real. In today's world, noise is often mistaken for impact. The louder someone is, the more attention they seem to get. But attention is not the same as influence. True progress, real transformation, and lasting achievement rarely come from those who are constantly broadcasting their every move. They come from those who move with purpose, with focus, and with intention. Moving with purpose means knowing exactly what you're working toward, and not allowing yourself to be distracted by the temptation of validation, attention, or unnecessary recognition. When you're locked into your purpose, you stop performing for the crowd and start building for the future. Noise is everywhere. It's in the opinions of others, in the pressure to show off your progress, and in the belief that if you're not constantly talking, you're falling behind. But movement without direction is just chaos. Busy doesn't mean productive. Loud doesn't mean powerful. A lot of people are moving fast, but they are going nowhere. They're trapped in a cycle of appearing successful rather than actually being successful. When you move with purpose, your actions are calculated. Your steps are intentional. You stop wasting time explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand your vision in the first place. Purpose creates clarity. It becomes the lens through which you view every opportunity, every challenge, and every relationship. It allows you to say no without guilt. It frees you from the pressure to compete. You're no longer chasing trends or copying others. You're following your own map. Purpose doesn't beg for attention. It generates quiet confidence. When you move with purpose, you don't need to announce every step, every win, or every breakthrough. You let your work speak. You let your consistency speak. You let your results speak. The reason many people fail to reach their goals isn't because they lack talent, but because they're too distracted by the need to be seen. They get caught up in proving something instead of building something. They spend more time crafting captions than crafting discipline. But when your focus shifts from how things look to how things actually are, you begin to operate from a place of power. You stop reacting to pressure and start responding to purpose. You no longer feel the need to explain your process because you know exactly where you're headed. Noise is fleeting. It grabs attention for a moment and disappears. But purpose is enduring. It creates a foundation that doesn't crumble under pressure. People who move with purpose don't need the world to understand their timing. They don't fear being overlooked because they know what they're building is bigger than a moment. They are patient with the process, persistent with their mission, and clear about their direction. They don't let distractions detour them or opinions delay them. Every step they take has meaning, even when no one is watching. Every decision aligns with a bigger picture, even if others can't see it yet. When you move with purpose, the destination becomes inevitable, even if the journey is quiet. Your journey is uniquely yours, shaped by your experiences, your mindset, your challenges, and your dreams. No one else walks in your shoes. No one else wakes up with your thoughts, carries your burdens, or sees your vision through your eyes. Yet too often, we let the voices of others infiltrate our direction. We give weight to opinions that were never meant to steer us. We allow the doubts of others to become the doubts within us. But the truth is this: your path was never meant to be understood by everyone, and it doesn't have to be. We are constantly surrounded by expectations. What we should do, who we should be, how we should live. Society has its timelines, its standards, and its checklists. And when you dare to step off the conventional path, when you choose something different, something uncertain, something bold, people get uncomfortable. They'll question your choices, they'll project their fears onto you. They'll try to fit your limitless potential into their limited worldview, but their confusion is not your problem to solve. Their discomfort is not your burden to carry. You are not required to shrink your journey, so it makes sense to those who never had the courage to take their own. When you start walking your own path, you begin to realize that clarity doesn't come from outside approval. It comes from inner alignment. It comes from listening to your own voice in a world full of noise. It comes from trusting your intuition even when logic tells you to play it safe. You stop trying to convince people of your worth and start proving it to yourself through action. You stop looking for signs outside of you and start recognizing the power you've had within you all along. There will be moments when your path feels lonely. That's normal. Growth often demands separation. You will outgrow environments, habits, and even people. You will evolve in ways that make others uncomfortable. But you are not born to blend in. You were born to rise, and rising sometimes means being misunderstood, being judged, being doubted. But that doesn't mean you're lost. It just means you're forging a way most people are too afraid to walk. Every step you take in your own direction, even the small ones, matter. Even the slow days, even the silent days, even the days that feel like nothing is happening. They are all part of something bigger. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you're taking the road less traveled. You don't need to defend your dreams, justify your decisions, or rush your process. What is meant for you will unfold as long as you keep moving forward. Not everyone will celebrate you, not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. They weren't given your vision, they weren't assigned your mission. The journey is yours, and it's not meant to be validated by the crowd. It's meant to be lived, step by step, with intention, with courage, and with the unwavering belief that where you're going matters, even if no one else can see it yet.